You know what's interesting is like I'm thankful that I was so close with Gary Shandling, and we used to talk about a lot of the things that happened in his life, and I think those conversations were the thing that allowed me to see the other side of this. You know what I mean? Like all the things that he went through and all the conversations that we had, you know, it just made me go, okay, well, you were a part of it. It happened. It doesn't define you.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're a part of history.
Yeah.
And you had nothing to do with that. You can't
Yeah.
control a man's, actions.
Yeah.
And you were in such a pantheon room.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
you were literally at the sit down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
like, that's an incredible story. I would take that as an amazing time.
Oh, yeah.
But I know you have to live through it.
Yeah, you got to live through it. That's the thing. And it does take time to be like, oh, okay, cool. That was just, that was my Forrest Gump moment.
So you said something really good about hecklers are just, it's way wilder now.
Oh, yeah. And I knew that was going to happen the second that happened.
Because it was already bad.
It was already bad, but it's like,
what do you see now?
I see people that have no tolerance or respect for what it is. Like I said, there was a time where, okay, a stand-up's on stage. He's done some stuff. So he's accomplished, which means he's earned the right to be on that stage. Hecklers are still going to feel like they're as entitled to, you're always going to get hecklers. Now when I get hecklers, I'm like, it's just part of it. So let's just shift into dealing with this. And then if you segue back into your material, great. If not, and this is what it is, that's just part of the game now.
This is you saying that, because I consider you a purist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
dude, you have to adapt to what is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The more you try and fight what is, you're just swimming upstream.
It is. You're so right. And the club. Listen, I don't like comics. I don't. All of a sudden, crowd work's big. Crowd work's always been there.
Yes,
but some comics.
Well, crowd work is big because no one has that arsenal of material anymore to dump on social media. So once you run out of your 18 good minutes, guess what? You're putting your crowd work up. Because it's easy to do crowd work.
Yes. And so, by the way, it's true. If you have an hour, 18's good. I mean, you need to get some filler. I love you said that. Because it's hard. But it's like, it should take 2 years maybe to get another hour. Maybe.
Yep. Maybe.
So, and you have to live. You have to get off the grid.
Yes.
Experience.
Yes.
So you're saying this. What I love is that I try not, I mean, I can do it. I have to do it. But I don't even have to do it because I deal with hecklers all the time.
Yes.
And I've had, listen, I do these different jokes. I joke about everything. And I did jokes. And this woman got up. That had to be escorted out.
Yeah.
Screaming at me. At the ice house, a guy got mad, started cursing at me. He left. At the ice house.
Yes.
The chillest club in the world.
Yes.
So, and it's wild. And you're right. You have to deal with it. But do you feel that comedy is the most disrespected art form?
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Thank you.
Because I'm 30 years in, I know I've earned the right to be on stage, and sometimes I have to fight just to stay on that stage and earn my respect with that audience. Just because there's a drunk couple in front that can't chill, and the club doesn't want to throw them out because who they are in the community or whatever. You know what I mean? So then you're doing the work of a bouncer and a comedian, and you got to not derail the show.
We are counselors now. It's like I always say I'm a substitute teacher.
Yes.
Like I'm a warden.
Yes. That's hilarious because that's the real. You feel like you're wearing all these other things and you got to be funny on top of it.
I know.
Which is the thing that the real thing you care about. I don't care about any of the other stuff. I want to be funny. I want to be funny my way. I want people to leave feeling like that was time well spent.
Yeah, see, listen, we all love the perks of it, but I really do believe that you could get a hot tub, 6 bottles after a club, paid money, women. But you're like, if that one joke didn't hit, it's going to ruin your night. You are a purist that way. Where I could be like, well, the perks are good enough. I'm going to get them in Iowa next week. You know what I mean? But like, you really are a purist.
Well,
and that's beautiful.
I know why I'm, when I first started doing it, and this is another thing I talked to Gary about. Gary was about using the act to learn about yourself in your journey, right?
Yeah, he seemed like at the end of his life, he was really going on a self.
Yes, and I was helping him work on material during that time.
Wow.
So we were writing together, but that's how I've always felt about this too. It's like, if you have the courage to pursue this path, right? You want to prove something to yourself. Like, I think I'm funny. Okay, let me test that. Let me put it on the track. Let me test it. Okay, I'm getting laughs. Now can I get laughs according to my terms, right? So that's another part of the track. And then you're like, okay, I've said these things that work. Let me go a little deeper and talk about some things that people don't expect, or push the boundaries a little bit. Like, that's what it's about, like, to the person that's in the audience just watching, they're like, I'm just here to have a good time. Like, say some stupid stuff, make fun of my friend. You know what I mean? But I think if you really do this, and especially in this phase, because we're both, 30 years in?
Mm-hmm. 30,
you got to ask yourself, why am I still doing it?
It's a very good question. I do all the time. And I think it's like, it's what I know. And I can go actually break this down for you of how the career is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I literally worked at did a bunch of jobs, came out to Hollywood because I wanted to be famous, wanted to be loved.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't admit that, but that's really why it was.
Yeah.
I did not go to college. But if I would have gotten to UCLA, I probably would have went, what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of odd jobs, and worked at ABC. And the guy I worked with was like, you got to do stand up. Obviously, my idol was Eddie Murphy.
Sure.
Rodney.
Mine too.
Yeah. Joan Rivers, Sam Kinison. I was an 80s baby.
Yeah.
So I was from 80 to 90. That's all I consumed.
Yes.
John Hughes. So I didn't know that I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, I'm going to try acting. But I didn't even try that. I tried it. I was an extra.
Yeah.
I worked at it, and the guy was like, I literally just kept telling me, because I would go to ABC and I would do all these goofy shit trying to get on like a background, and he's like, you're pissing everybody off. But there was this guy who was a cook. He's like, you're crazy. He's like, you gotta try stand up.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you even do that? It was like Mars.
Yeah.
And he told me about the drama log.
Yes.
And he was like, go in the back and look for open mics.
Yeah.
And so I did like I said, the couple of sign-ups.
Yeah.
And then I did it for those first 5 years just to like, this is a tool to get seen by the industry.
Yeah.
Then I got busy,
mm-hmm.
and then it was until like 4 years I really didn't do it. And I was doing a movie in Baltimore, Will's movie,
mm-hmm.
and Dave Chappelle was playing, who was in more movies than anybody. People forget that. And he was playing some club in Baltimore. I don't know if it was Magoobies or something, but he was playing a club, and I was like, how is he doing that?
Yeah.
And I read something where he was like, you have a lot of time in your trailer to write jokes. So then I started again, and I got it. My agent was like, long story boring. Then it became a money thing. I started doing lunchtime gigs at colleges.
At the colleges? Oh, you were doing,
So I did 20.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't that good, but they had a famous guy.
Yes.
But the money was good. And then guys like Saget, Rick Overton, Craig Shoemaker, they let me open for them. And I would add to the press. And they were, brilliant at what they did. So I would come in. And then Nick Swartzen, who was coming up, was like, yo, this is how you got to do this and that. So I was a middle.
Yeah.
Really known.
Yes.
And then so I was making a lot of, then I got an hour eventually over a couple years. And I did a lot of colleges.
Yeah.
And then corporates, and then I went all the way up, and then I just got burnt out.
Sure.
Around 2010, so it was like fame,
yes.
Got into business, made a lot of money, boom, and then the clubs were dying off, the DVDs, like Larry the Cable Guy's like, make a DVD, but I got on the tail of it, it wasn't selling.
Sure.
And I don't know if he'll ever remember this, but it was at the Cosmopolitan. It was a 2013. Kevin Hart's movie came out, and it was the one that he did, and it was, I think it was the Madison Square Garden one.
Right.
And he dapped me up, and I said, dude, congratulations on your movie. And I just never forget. He says, ridiculous. Ridiculous. I said, dude, your movie's killing. He goes, ridiculous. He just kept saying, I go, you own it? He goes, all of it. Ridiculous. And he was like, dude.
Yes.
But I was like, comedy, I'm trying to make sense. When you can't get it, scarcity's there. They fill the clubs. TV made it quiet again.
Yeah.
For the live.
Yeah.
Then that got weird. And then DVDs sold, and that was huge.
Yeah.
Then the clubs got empty again because they oversaturated. Then I credit Kevin. He did his own thing, owning it. And at that time, I wasn't selling anything. I would go and just get a flat.
Really?
Yeah, because I wasn't even getting tickets. And then I was like, is it hot again? Or he's like, it's always been hot. It was a very quick exchange. And then from the last 10 or 11 years, I'm like, I'm just going to go out. And it's one of the few things that will have me on my terms.
Yes.
And then I watched as social media grew.
Yes.
And so then the only reason for me to do it.
Yes.
Is to do it correctly. Yeah. So that's when I read a book after 20 years. And I want to say Dick Gregory.
Yeah. Yeah. Dick Gregory was amazing.
Who's a sneaky.
Yes. Yeah, he's a
sneaky
Mount Rushmore genius. Yeah,
and he breaks it down from a joke to a bit to a hunk to an act.
Yeah,
and it was just about how to formulate stuff.
Yes,
and I never done that. I never took classes, and I just started looking. I'm like, the only reason for me to do it is to do it properly. So that's when I try to do deeper.
Yes,
and use my skill set, which is fun.
Yes,
to talk about deeper things.
Yes,
so now. That's why I do it. I mean, I'm lucky. I've made fame. I've made money.
Yeah.
And it's literally, what else can I do? Because it's like therapeutic. How many people, and you probably will 100,000% agree with this, the calmest part of my day is going on stage.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Is that
yes. Yeah. You know
to
why?
A normal person, they would understand that.
Yes.
It's the most calmest part.
Yeah, because the real comedy is just getting to that safe space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all the stuff that you have to deal with that comes your way, just getting to the stand-up part. Like, because you can control that, and that's the thing that you know. You know what I mean? Like, that's base. That's base.
But so that's why I did it for multiple reasons, but now I do it is because I really want to be, and I think we need voices now.
We absolutely need voices. I think people need someone to believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Even the idea of who they are to believe in. Like, and I also feel like the realities of life are so much more serious that comedy weighs more to people. It people feel like they need it more.
Yeah, like I hate when I never want post-pandemic audiences are much more voracious.
Mm-hmm.
They come out.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the proliferation of AI, it's all going to be a wrap.
Sure.
But I think that we are living, throwback Thursdays, I say. Like, I'm literally art. You're art. You're standing art.
Yes.
People are going to want that live. Justine Bateman's brilliant, where she says it's going to be 100% human organic content. That's going to be a vertical, and AI is going to be another vertical. It's like organic food. So people want to relate. They go, Suli, they want the experience.
Yeah.
So I believe live is going to be bigger.
You know what's interesting is like I do some dates with Sean Wayans, right? And so when we go out, he's got a built-in fan base, and I don't even advertise those shows. I just show up, right? And so I'll go up cold to start the show, do a half hour, and then I bring him up. And what I've noticed is recently these shows are getting more and more powerful, where people are leaving like, yo, those guys are the real deal. You know what I mean? Because they care about stand-up. It's not just a promo thing. And we've both been doing it for 30 years. So we have the goods. Yes, you know what I mean? 100%. And it's not like some dudes that are outside of it. Like, we're still very much in it. And so just noticing how people are receiving it, it feels like, oh, this is there's something happening here. And that's a cool feeling.
Yeah, I noticed that the other night. I did Greensboro, North Carolina, Comedy Zone. It's one of the last huts.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an amazing, in the middle of nowhere, and this guy's got this beautiful hut. And it's a laugh hut. But and I haven't had this for a while. Each first show was amazing.
Yeah.
Second shows, good for half an hour. And then the booze, the pills, the vape, it all blended together.
Yeah.
And I'm babysitting. I'm a
Yes.
But in the front, there was these kids. And I was like, are you old enough to be there? And they're like, we're 22. And I was like, you guys look 12. They grew up on pods.
Yes.
So they would never, ever come to clubs unless with all of this stuff. And so the cool thing about comedy is now it's like mixtape, music, pods, or you can find your favorite artist.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it was like the indie girls or academic or whatever, like different pockets of music.
Yes.
Pixies that you didn't get the mainstream love. So comedy has that now.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's another reason why I do it, because I do have this little, pocket of following.
Yes.
But the heckling and stuff and the disrespect of the art for someone like it hurts. It hurts my soul. So I can't imagine.
It does hurt my soul. And I have been in situations, dude, where I'm like, what are you doing? You're ruining it.
Yeah, like Sean doesn't. People don't realize, like, why does Sean do it? He doesn't have to do it.
No.
He doesn't have to do it. You know what? God rest my soul. I don't ever have to work again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm not living in Bel Air, but
you're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
Sean,
you can go to a Gelson's.
100%. They're high. It's a high price. It's a high price.
Gelson's is a good store.
Yeah, the one on Beverly is more expensive than the one on Franklin. Why does Sean do it? Well, many reasons, but because it's soul feeding.
Yes.
Why? Here's the greatest example. His brother. Okay, I'll never forget. I did a Flappers. And fucking 12 o'clock, I go back in the mic on a Sunday, the green room, and Damon is in there.
Yes. Yeah.
Damon, I go, dude, what are you doing? He goes, I'm working on my new hour.
Yes.
On a 12, and it was sold out.
Yes.
Like, I'm not kidding. It was at 12 o'clock on a Sunday in Burbank.
Yep.
Damon's beyond a legacy.
Yep.
And yet, why is he there?
And one of the greatest stand-ups ever.
All time.
So if you ever get a chance to see Damon Wayans live, go.
And, like, you think you're watching, like, this fun, act-out guy that's having a lot of fun and voices, impressions, but with the deepest of messages.
But can yes. Yep. I used to love watching, like I said, dude, like,
so that's
we came up at the best time.
That's why I do it, yeah.
You can't replicate that feeling and how good that feels. Like, there have been certain nights where I go home and I'm like, I'm so glad I do this for a living. Like, my sides hurt. I laughed so much tonight, and I hung out with my friends, and, like, that tears running down your face laughter, that's our everyday, dude. That is our everyday. Like, we get that, there's a language that stand-up speak that you can't get anywhere else. Like, I remember when the pandemic was first over and people were starting to go back into the clubs, one of the best feelings was just being around other comics and talking to other comics, because you didn't have to, like, hey, can I say this? Like, you shoot from the hip. You know what I mean? Like, you shoot from the hip. There's no filter on, is this okay to talk about? And that's beautiful.
And where do you think it's going now? Because there are, and I'm not the cop of comedy.
Right.
I don't know anything. That's what I tell people. I just want to get your opinion, and then we'll wrap up. This has been incredible. Is that because there are people that are cosplaying?
Sure.
That makes sense.
Yes.
There are, like, here's who I respect. I respect people that have, like, there's a guy that was at the store the other night, and he has 10 million followers, and he's got 4 minutes.
Yes, of course he does.
But he said, I know I don't have the time, but he's like, I gotta work out because I got this audience. I respect that. Sure. He blew up on. There's other people that have that that got 2 laughs on a post and think they have 40 minutes.
Sure.
And because, you know, so it's a
yeah, there's a lot of delusion walking around.
And I love you said it. Because
yes,
it's like, I'm not
there's
trying
a lot
to be
of
mean,
delusion. Of course there is.
But you got to be hit with the stick multiple. I've been hit with, like, I think I'm pretty good, and I've been hit with the stick multiple times.
Dude, when you go to a buffet, not everything is incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
There are some mashed potatoes that are shitty.
Yes. It's so true. So it's like, I don't know. It doesn't affect me, though, because I believe people are creating their new lanes, and there's a lot. Yes. There's so many. Not only there's 7 clubs in LA, like I would consider legacy clubs from HaHa to the store, but there's also a lot of pop-up shows. Sure. So people are creating their own little fiefdoms.
Yeah, I like those outdoor shows where people are like kind of camped out. Like those are cool. Like I feel like that where it's going, I don't have a problem with the openness of it.
And it is true. Like,
and it is open now. It's more open.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that it's grounded in some sort of technique. Like I like technique. I'm a technician.
Oh, I know you are.
If you have
You're fundamental on the court and fundamental on the stage.
But I will cross you over though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
break an ankle.
Yes, I will do that.
Yes.
I will, but I do like seeing a technique. Like, oh, that person has a technique. You know, you got to have a father to your style.
Yeah, and I know. I don't know if that's happening. But listen, I'm not one to say there's people that could sell 2,000 tickets.
Right.
But you know what? And God bless you. It's a different world. I'm fortunate that I believe I'm part of the pantheon of things that will last.
Yes.
Forever. Some things.
Well, yeah, dude. Like when I was on the Jamie Foxx show, while we were doing it, I was like, this show is going to be around forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jamie Foxx is one of the most talented people I've ever been around.
Ever
to
come to this town.
So when we were doing that show, I was like, dude, be on your A game because this show is going to live on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like Don't Be a Menace has that same thing. Like
100%.
People that love Don't Be a Menace, like
I'm still seeing it, by the way. I still see memes now.
Dude, it's out there.
Yeah.
It's still out there.
Yeah.
Like my son said to me when he was he's a freshman in college now, but when he was in high school, he came home one day and he goes, Dad, my friends think you're cool. And I was like, cool, you know, like, but we did that movie in '96, dude.
Yeah.
It still means something to people.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
That's what we call legacy media.
Absolutely.
It will never go away.
Absolutely.
And to be a part of that now more than ever it's a blessing. And I think that we live in a popcorn society.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain people, their movies are huge.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't quote anything from it.
Sure.
It's a prisoner of the moment.
Sure.
It made $500,000, but where's the I'll be back?
Sure. I mean, I have people come up to me on a daily doing Crazy Legs.
Wow.
And I welcome it.
Wow.
I'm like, cool. That means that it made an impact. Do you know how hard it is to make an impact?
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
And now more than ever. Yeah. Dude, this was incredible. Thank you.
Of course, man.
This was like...
Yeah. I was looking forward to doing this, and it exceeded my expectations.
Dude, that means a lot. I appreciate it, because you have such a unique voice. You're so smart. You're so eloquent, and yet I just could listen to you for hours because you've just done it, dude.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Not to be a hooker, but do you want to promote anything?
I'm on
your socials?
tour. You can follow me on Instagram at Suli McCullough, SuliMcCullough. I'm touring with Sean Wayans, and I do stuff on my own. I'm in there, baby. Yeah. Come see me.
I mean, I think people are going to listen to this a lot.
I hope so. I hope so.
It's a class.
You know what? I did produce a comedy documentary a couple years ago called Dying Laughing.
Oh, yeah.
That is on Amazon, and you can even watch it on YouTube. It's out there. We made it to inspire the next great stand-up. So if you are interested in stand-up, check that out. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, see, you give back.
Yes, I do.
You do. You want.
But I care about it. I care about
Yeah.
stand-up. And, like, stand-up is the reason that I'm sitting here and we're talking about it. So I do like to pour back into it. So, and people are always curious about it. So it's a craft. I believe it's a craft. I think that, it's something to be celebrated. You need to keep this space open because good comes from it.
I mean, I can't. Yeah, I got nothing. It's just the perfect ending. He's so correct. Listen to Suli, subscribe to him, like and subscribe here, guys. Seriously, this is a masterclass on this art form that is widely underappreciated.
Well said.
See you guys.